to the final bit of today, which is looking at drivers. So drivers are required through WDS to ensure that firstly you can push an image out to a new piece of tin, and secondly so that that image has all the correct drivers in when it gets on there. To start with, by looking at the drivers node in the WDS console, we can see all packages and another item below it. That's called a driver group, and we'll be creating one of those in a sec. I've already extracted some drivers onto the root of the drive, so we'll presume you've done that already. And by right-clicking the drivers title, we can go to Add Driver Package. If we go on to that, we want the lower one to select all packages from a folder. That way we ensure that we're bringing in all the correct files required by a driver or set of drivers. I'm going to navigate through to where I've put my drivers, which is Dell 5040 NIC. I'm going to go next onto there. Now in there, it's finding lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different drivers. And if you look where I've got the mouse, you can see that the operating system and the architecture is changing. This is because there's multiple different drivers within that driver package. Now I could just click next on that and it would import them all. However, I only want to install the ones for Windows 10 64-bit. So I'm going to cancel this and go back onto drivers, add driver package again, select from a folder, drill down onto the package that I've got, which is on software Dell 5040 NIC, and then in there you can see this particular driver package has got all these different drivers in. I only want that one, I don't care about anything else, so I'm selecting that, click next, it's found 3, click next again, and it then imports them into WDS, and it says successfully added. It now gives me the option to be able to add them to a driver group, and the purpose of this is twofold, one of which is to create a bit of a structure so you can see what was imported when, and the other enables you to target particular drivers to machines with certain attributes. So we'll do that now, and if I call this Dell 5040 and then all the different types of drivers that I need for that box I can put in this driver group. The filters are what let you set these attributes. So I'm going to go to just click finish, which opens up the filter box. If I click add, there's a variety of different things I can select here. I know this is going on a Dell box. The different attributes that you can match on are listed here under the filter type. So there's quite a few, not a massive amount, but there's quite a few things. Importantly, you've got things like model there and manufacturer. Now, not every system builder puts those references into WMI, which is where this is looking, but most do. If I do bring up command prompt by using the WMIC, so the WMIC BIOS get manufacturer, that will bring back the manufacturer name of that bit of hardware. Certainly for Lenovo and Dell, that tends to come through as Lenovo or Dell, or possibly Dell.Inc. A little bit of googling around this will show you all the different things that you can match on. If I say, right, I want everything that is going to come back with Dell in the manufacturer, I can add that, or Dell.Inc. full stop. I can add that as well, and now if either of those are matched, that will apply. I also want to set this up where on the model. So it might be that part of the WMI fields for the piece of tin that I'm installing comes through as 5040. Or you might find it's Optiplex 5040. It would need to be exactly correct in order to match, so you'd always run this through on the piece of tin before you tried setting these filters up, just to make sure that you're matching correctly. I can click add there and it puts it in. So that's fine, and I can click OK on that. So now only machines which are Dell or Dell.Inc. and are an Optiplex 5040 will get these drivers, and nothing else will. Purpose being, if you've got a machine if you've got two manufacturers that share the same driver, but they're both amended them in slightly different ways, you want to make sure the right one's being applied. If I click OK on that, I can now see all those 3 drivers are imported. If I wanted to import those into the boot image, because my new piece of tin has got a more recent operating system than the boot image, and so therefore when I start up the boot image it can't recognise the NIC, so it can't get an IP address, let alone push a new operating system out. We need to push those drivers into the boot image. I know these drivers won't work, but I'll show you how it works. So if I right click the install new operating system on the boot images, I can go to add driver packages to image, so they already need to be imported, and then by clicking next, this is a search window that lets me search for drivers to be able to push through. At the moment it's going to match on 64-bit because it knows I've got a 64-bit image that I'm using, and it's going to look for network driver system drive, hardware controller, and SCSI adapter. So essentially anything that's needed to build the operating system for is going to look for these. If I click search for packages, it's brought back 63, it's brought back loads of different drivers. However, I only want it to bring in the ones that I've told it about. We can see over here, if I cancel this window, say yes to there, over here, if I go to all packages, there's loads of others, and those are ones that I've already imported for a Windows 8.1 package. Now I don't want to bring those in to the Windows 10 boot image because it will fail in horrible ways. So if I go again, add drivers to image, I can now add an extra field in here, and because I've already created a driver group called Dell 5040, I want to specify it so only things in the Dell 5040 driver group are going to go into this boot image. And now I can click search for packages, it brings out just the 301. I can click next and next again, and it will run through. It will mount the image, push the drivers in, and then unmount it. I know these ones don't work because these Dell ones only work with the full-blown operating system. They don't work with Windows PE. Dell have released a separate package of Windows PE drivers, which you can push in separately as network drivers. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes require components that are in the full-blown copy of Windows, and so when you try and use them in Windows PE, it doesn't work. So that won't work. But apart from that, getting everything else right, we're all done.